Good Morning Geelong, brought to you by www.guestmedia.com.au.
Hello and welcome to Good Morning Geelong. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you and to bring you this very new and exciting program which is all about Geelong and it's all about you. So we want to bring you whatever we can that's happening in Geelong, all the latest news, lots of guest speakers who are going to come into the program with us, and we'll also be taking the show out on the road. So it is fantastic to have you. If you have any details, any stories you would like to get in touch with us, please feel free to do so. You can contact gestmedia@bigpond.com and we'll certainly try and endeavour to put your news on the show. Now I'm just going to throw to Graham Rawlins right now, who's catching up with a very special guest, our Mayor, Bruce Harwood. Thanks, Rollo.
Thanks very much to Megan, and it is a wonderful morning, nice and bright and early. Hope you have a great day here on Channel 31 and yes, Good Morning Geelong. The world of local government is always one that is to the forefront in our great city of Geelong. And joining us this morning on the couch, relaxed before we start a big day of work, it's a very good morning to the Mayor of our City of Greater Goodness, as we call it, the City of Greater Geelong, Councillor Bruce Harwood. Good morning, Bruce, and thanks for your time.
Pleasure, Graham. Good to be here.
The City of Greater Geelong, we've certainly moved significantly forward in recent times. Great developments taking place around the city and continued success in all elements of our activities. You must be a very proud man.
Well, yes. It's been a great privilege to be on council the last few years and be involved in the development of Geelong. We've had unprecedented demand on our region. We've never seen the demand that we're seeing with housing and commercial activity that's going on, and we see that evident through the growth around Geelong and also the development in our city area in central Geelong. But of course with that comes other issues that we've had to deal with as well. Things like moving traffic, car parking, all things that go with it. You can't hide from these issues with development. So we've been dealing with those as we go along. But Geelong is without doubt just a great environment, a great place to live, and we are a very lucky city.
We certainly are, and with a lot of those developments, of course, comes economic growth. Are we seeing that those signs come through all of our indicators at City Hall? Oh,
absolutely. We're a city in transition. We're a city experienced enormous growth, but we're no longer just Geelong on the southern end of Australia. We are part of the global market in the world, and we compete accordingly. And we see the stress that goes on with Alcoa, with Shell, with Ford. So we're not immune from any of those issues that are going on in the world. We see issues that are going on in America and Europe with the financial sectors, and we have to watch those very closely because we are a world player now, albeit on a smaller scale. We're still very much in the global market. So we have to watch very carefully what goes on around the world now.
And talking about around the world, you've recently come back from a trip to America that was very important to Geelong. You might like to explain that to our viewers, please.
Very quickly, the trip was all about biotechnology and the opportunities that are presenting itself there, and also in relation to water treatment. With the biotechnology, this is a field that really is manufacturing of the future. This is a critical industry that is already starting to generate enormous interest in employment and also in finance. And we saw in North Carolina in America where they have a huge biotechnology industry, and we learnt how they started that industry, how they have grown that with support within their own communities, but also how they've garnered financial support to make that industry grow. And they're two critical factors: is having the support and the willingness at a local community level, and also then to go out and get strong financial support. And the biotechnology industry now is it's about life sciences. It can relate to anything from the human body and everything that goes with that, through to animals, to food production, to aquaculture. It is an all-encompassing science. So the technology that we are discovering there is really going to lead us into the future. And in Geelong, with Deakin University, we have a Geelong Technology Park, which is starting to now grow substantially. And with biotechnology in Melbourne, Geelong is very well placed to move into that future growth. So that's very exciting area, but we have to go out and learn about that. When people say just jump on the internet and find out about it, it's not that simple. You really have to go out and look and feel and understand and talk to people how they've grown their industry. That's what we've gone and done. We've learnt an enormous amount. Then we travelled to Kansas, which is right in the middle of America, landlocked. And Kansas City, Missouri has the second most number of fountains in the world, which I found fascinating for a place that's in the middle of America, second only to Rome. But such is their technology of water recycling. They are world leaders, and we learned, again, an enormous amount about recycling of water and how we can do it better over here. So, and these are ideas. I was actually chatting with Michael Maloof from Barwon Water yesterday, and just chatting about things I've learnt over there and ideas that we think that Barwon Water can also learn from. So it's about sharing the knowledge that we learn. And
of course, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is the Barwon Water Waterwise Expo down here in Geelong, which just continually passes on the great information that the citizens of Greater Geelong and surrounds have done in relation to water saving. Bruce, November is always, this particular year, 2008, is going to be a big year throughout Victoria, but we're centering on the city of Greater Geelong with election time coming up. There's been some movement in boundaries. How's the overall election process shaping up now? Are people understanding the boundary, the ward boundary movements, etc.?
I don't know, that's a good question, Graham. The ward boundaries have been redefined by the Victorian Electoral Commission, and it's really about looking at the number of voters per councillor and trying to balance that out to around about 13,000 to 14,000 voters per councillor. Geelong's one of the largest councils in Australia. We have one of the largest number of voters per councillor, and it's about trying to balance out, in fairness, that particular number. So that there have been some shifts in ward boundaries, and people who have voted in different, say the Buckley ward, which is out in the Grovedale area, will now perhaps some will be sharing part of the Cardinia ward, which is the ward I currently represent. So that's a slight shift in the boundary there. But yeah, look, I hope that people take a keen interest in the council elections that are coming up. There'll be a postal vote. So about mid-November, you'll receive a postal vote in the mail, and then have a 2-week period to mark your postal card and post that letter back to the Victorian Electoral Commission. And the votes will be counted on, I think it's Saturday, November the 28th, I think it is. And we'll know the results later that day or later that evening.
And of course, voting is compulsory. Across Victoria. Yes, it is. It's, in actual fact, I think it may be a few states in Australia that council elections are taking place, and you'll be electing people for a 4-year period to represent the city on council. So it is quite an extended period of time to be involved in local politics. So it's a very interesting time, and especially for Geelong, as I say, we're in a very strong growth pattern, and we'd like to think that can continue for some time. And you are restanding for the ward of Cardinia? Yes, I will be. It's taken me a while to come to that decision. There's a few factors involved, but I'd like to see to completion a few projects I've been involved in. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a great privilege and an honour to get elected, of course, and then to be part of council. It's a great experience. It's not all smooth sailing. There's plenty of times you wonder what you're doing, you wish you were somewhere else, but I guess that goes with the territory. You know, you can't have it all one way. The Mayor of the City of Greater Geelong and the standing member from the ward of Cardinia, who will be restanding again in November. Thank you very much for being with us on Good Morning Geelong this morning, Bruce. We appreciate your valuable time. You have a very pleasant day as we go to a break. We'll be back with more after this. Thanks, Graham.